Good evening, Team Legacy. It is your girl, Dana McCall, and I am back with you tonight for a moment in celebration of Black History Month, all right? It is February, and we're going to celebrate with everyone else. But we have to push the fact that Black history is American history and has to be taught throughout the year. All right, that's it. That is all. So yesterday I came to you with an excerpt from a book titled A to Z of African American History. Tonight I'm coming from that same text, and tonight we're going to delve deeper. We're going to talk about Langston Hughes and his contribution to African American literature. Langston Hughes' excerpt can be found on page 50. All right. So in 40 years, Langston Hughes wrote 16 books of poetry, 2 novels, 3 collections of short stories, 4 volumes of editorial and documentary works, 20 plays, 3 autobiographies, 12 radio and television scripts, dozens of magazine articles, children's poetry, musicals, and operas. So the man was working, right? He was born in Joplin, Missouri in 1902 to an abolitionist family. Hughes was the grandson of James Mercer Langston, the first Black man elected to public office in 1855. He was a graduate of Lincoln University in Pennsylvania in 1929 and later received an honorary lit degree in 1943. He was awarded a Guggenheim Fellowship in 1935 and a Rosenwald Fellowship in 1940. Yes. Hughes' first published poem, The Negro Speaks of Riches, is one of his most famous. After 1923, Hughes was strongly influenced by jazz, as was evident in the Weary Blues. All right. It goes on to say that his work flourished during the Harlem Renaissance in 1924. He wrote another piece, The Negro Artist in the Racial Mountain. It was an essay that spoke directly to Black writers and poets. He died in 1967, and his home has become a public landmark in Harlem, New York, and so on. All right, so I kind of cut it off a little bit because I wanted to read his poem. Now, in the book, it says that the poem was called The Negro Speaks of Riches. After doing further research, it looks as if that the poem was actually titled The Negro Speaks of Rivers. I found it on a website called litcharts.com, and that's litcharts.com. All right, and so here we go. I've known rivers. I've known rivers ancient as the world and older than the flow of human blood in human veins. My soul has grown deep like the rivers. I bathed in the Euphrates when dawns were young. I built my hut near the Congo, and it lulled me to sleep. I looked upon the Nile and raised the pyramids above it. I heard the singing of the Mississippi when Abe Lincoln went down to New Orleans, and I've seen its muddy bosom turn all golden in the sunset. I've known rivers, ancient, dusky rivers. My soul has grown deep like the rivers. So in this poem, The Negro Speaks of Rivers, it traces Black history from what seems like the beginning of human civilization to the present. It encompasses both the triumphs, like the construction of the pyramids, and the horrors, like American slavery. The poem argues that the Black soul has incorporated all of this historical experience, and in the process, it has become deep. The poem thus suggests that Black cultural identity is continuous and that it stretches across the displacement of slavery and violence to connect us to the past. Again, my name is Dana McCall. That is our moment in Black history. I want to say thank you personally to Mr. Langston Hughes for blazing a path for us to follow. Hey, until tomorrow, remember, Black history is just American history. Y'all be blessed. Good night.